Hopefully now you should be able to hear me. Mic test 1 2 3. Mic test 1 2 3. Yeah, I think I can hear myself now. The audio is breaking. Right, so there is some noise. So I've changed the port. Now hopefully the audio should be okay. Okay, great. And for some reason I think the autofocus is not working on the camera, so but it should be fine. I think the focus is somewhere around here, and I can't really touch camera because it's just a little bit far. So yeah, that's fine. I think it's not that bad. Right, anyways, again we struggle with the setup. Hopefully in few days I will get used to this setup and these issues won't happen, but for now I'm still getting used to. So every day there's some new issue and every day I'm learning something new about this setup, so you should be okay. But if you still face some or if you see some issues in the audio, please do let me know in the chat. I have removed the monitoring because I keep hearing myself after certain delay, so it just distracts me a little bit. So I'm not listening to myself now, but if there is any issue, please do let me know. We will take a look. Right, so as usual, there is one question which I take, and that would be probably the main question of that live session, and then I open this live Q&A to the chat, and then you can ask your questions in the chat and I will take them one by one. So today's question that I'm going to answer is, can I learn data science without coding? So I tried thinking really hard to answer this question in yes or no, but I couldn't because it's a little bit complicated. A lot of people will say that you cannot learn data science without coding, but there is a catch to it. I can say that there is a way to learn data science but then there is a catch there as well. So first I will try to answer why it is not possible to learn data science without coding. So it's actually quite simple, because a lot of these courses are designed using Python or R. So you will need to know one or the other programming language to be able to go through the course and complete the course and learn all the concepts. So that's that. Now the question is, how can I then learn data science without coding? So the answer to that is, data science is not just about coding, it's about data analysis. You can do data analysis in Excel, you can do data analysis in Power BI, where you don't need to write even a single line of code. It is also about data manipulation, so you can do quite a lot of data transformation within Power BI. So there also you don't need to write any code. You need to know some maths and stat, which doesn't require any coding. So you can learn about all the algorithms, all the machine learning algorithms, without having to write a single line of code. So you can learn quite a lot of things, but if you follow one single course, it will be structured around coding. So that is a bit tricky to learn, but it's definitely possible to learn. But then once you learn data science and you learn all the concepts, there are a lot of resources or a lot of tools which you can use to create your data science pipeline without writing any code. So it's called no code low code. So there are a lot of systems like AWS, GCP, or Azure ML, where you can just drag and drop things and create your data science pipeline. So that's a good thing. You don't need to write any code. But then when you try to find a job in your work setup, almost everyone would expect you to write code, and that's where your no code low code or all your data science knowledge might fall off. But if you're really good at what you know, if you're really good at what you can do, I think you will still be able to get a job. And then if you have access to, let's say, AWS SageMaker in your company, you should be able to make good use of it, and you should be able to create a full data science project there. So the answer is a bit tricky here. There is no yes or no to this question. You can definitely learn data science, but it will be a little bit hard without coding. So yeah, I think if you can learn coding, it will make your life a lot more easier. So that was the main question of this live Q&A. I see we have a few people here on our live Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post that in the chat, and I will start taking them one by one, because I cannot see any question as of now. I don't know if it is because of lag or what, but I am not able to see any questions. But I think we don't have any questions. That's why probably I'm not able to see. Today, when I was setting up the live stream for our usual time, which is 12 p.m. UK time, I realized that I forgot to put the camera on charge, and I saw the battery was quite low. Right now it's at like 25% now, so I don't know for how long the camera will last. But the good thing is, when I use this camera to live Q&A, it also charges the camera, but I think the charging speed is slightly slower than the battery draining speed. So yeah, the concern will always be there, but I think we will still be able to do our usual 1 hour live session. But yeah, I need to keep an eye on camera. The chat is quite quiet today. I think we do not have any questions, but if we don't have any questions, that's fine. And I think it's actually good that you know what you need to do, and you know all the answers to your questions, which is always good. I just try to come here and see if we have any questions, because we get quite a lot of comments and messages on LinkedIn. But to be able to answer those questions on LinkedIn is a little bit difficult, is because most of the questions are quite same, and I have to answer like similar thing with slight changes, and it just takes quite a lot of time. I try to answer most of the questions in comments, but there will be some comments which will just I just won't be able to see them, so I may miss those comments. So I try to come here live and try to talk to you guys. So if you have any questions, I can answer those questions, because that way it's not just one way communication. Because if you ask a question and I reply to your question in, let's say, comments, it takes some time to ask your follow-up question, and then it will take some time for me to answer your follow-up question. But here you can ask your question and I can answer it, and right after that you can ask a follow-up question. So I think it's a lot more interactive, and you can get answer for your questions a lot more easily and a lot more sooner as well. So I find it to be very nice and interactive, and I think a lot more useful for viewers as well. Are there completely remote data science roles in UK? How to apply for such jobs? There are some, but what I've seen is a lot of remote jobs are in US and not in UK. But then yes, there are some of my friends, they are working for some of the remote jobs from India. They found this job from freelancing websites like Upwork. So I think that is a very good place where you can find some of the fully remote work, and it won't be specifically to UK. You can find clients from any part of the world, and you should be able to work for them. But if you're specifically looking for someone in the UK, then I think you should be able to filter based on location and stuff, and you should be able to find clients from the UK. So I think freelancing websites are going to be my top pick if you want to find fully remote jobs in a specific location. Hey Asutosh. How intense are interviews here? For example, if we do any e-learning about a topic, is it feasible to include that in CV based on the introductory level of knowledge? Yes, you can add them on your CV, and it varies quite a lot depending on the expertise of the interviewer. So, for example, you learned about natural language processing and you add that in your CV, but the interviewer is less knowledgeable about NLP but more knowledgeable about computer vision, then they may ask you just basic questions about natural language processing. But then in another interview, if the interviewer is very experienced in natural language processing, then they can ask quite a lot of difficult questions or a lot of in-depth questions. So it depends. It totally depends on the interviewer, because when I was appearing for some of the interviews, the some of the interviews were a little bit light, but then some of the interviews were very in-depth. So it all depends on what is their specialty and in which domain they are specialized, and also what kind of candidate they are looking for. So if they have something related to computer vision, they want the candidate to have good knowledge about computer vision, and they may ask you a lot more questions, how to perform those computer vision tasks. So again, it depends a lot. Some people may ask you difficult questions, some people may not. But if you have learned something and if you feel like you're comfortable up to a certain extent, that is also fine. You need to add that in your CV, because then it will act as a, let's say, SEO, search engine optimization, or ATAS optimization. So when your CV is passed through these kind of systems, your CV will be approved, and then it may appear in front of the interviewers. So at least you will get a chance to get interviewed, and then you will know what kind of questions they can ask based on the information that you have added in your CV. So I would say it's always good to add those things in your CV. You're welcome, Zafir. Would you mind talking about different visas, like you is funded by a company? What if you had to fund yourself your visa? How long your work visa is valid? Let's say some countries allow for 3 years. In the UK, there are quite a lot of different type of visas. The first one that you get after finishing your masters is going to be post-study work visa, and I think most of the people are aware of how it works. All you need to do is get the certificate from the university that you have completed the course, and you will automatically be shifted to post-study work visa, which will be valid for 2 years. And then after that, if your company provides you a sponsorship, which is also known as skilled worker visa, then you will be able to get that visa for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, up to 5 years. And that's how it works. But then there are different ways companies provide this skilled worker visa. The first one is that you bear all the expenses of your visa. Well, when I say all the expenses, that means your health surcharge and the application fees, because there is some amount which companies will have to pay when they are providing a sponsorship to the candidate, and legally they cannot move that cost to you. So that's how it works. But in some cases, company takes care of all these charges. So your application fee, your health surcharge, everything will be covered by the company. So if you're able to find it, then that's really good, because health surcharge is very, very expensive. Now I think it costs over £1,000 per year. So if you're getting a visa for, let's say, 5 years, then you will have to pay around 6,000, something like that, for health surcharge, and then your application fees will also be 1,500. So the total cost can be around 7,000 to 8,000. So that is very expensive. But then obviously you don't need to pay all that amount upfront, because they do not expect you to have that much money. So what company will do is, at the time of application, company will pay that much amount, and then you will pay back company on a monthly basis. So you can decide for how long you want to keep that going. So you can pay that in like 2 years, 3 years time, and that's how it works. So that is skilled worker visa, and I think a lot of you might already know about it. There are some other visas like investment visa, but that for that you need to have like quite a lot of money. and I didn't even try to research how much money you need to have to get the visa using investment, because obviously I don't have that much money. uh, but it is definitely in millions, so it's very expensive. um, I hope that answers your questions, but if I did not answer something specific you asked, Ashutosh, please leave a follow-up question. I will answer that. You're welcome, Samita. How long did your full job application process take here, right from application to joining? Does sponsorship cover cost of dependent visa also? Okay, so there are two questions. The first one, how long it took. So I had like 3 offers. So the first one, I think right from the application, on an average, it takes like around a month. For the first one, I think it took a little bit over 1 month, because there were like 4 or 5 interview rounds. So yeah, every week there was one. So it took around just over, little over 1 month. For the next one, it was a lot more quicker, because there was only, I think there was only one interview, like main interview. The first one was just an introductory call. For that, I was able to get offer in like 15 days or so. And for the last one, when I applied, first they told me, when I applied, after like 5 days, they told me that uh, they probably have found the person they were looking for, and they said that we are closing this opening. And then after 1 week or so, they reached out and they are like, "Are you still looking for a job?" And at that time, I was being interviewed by another company. I think it was a bank. So I told yes, because I didn't have any offer in my hand at the time. So I told them that yes, I'm still looking for. So they invited me for interview, and there were 2 interview rounds. So all in all, I think it took 1.5 months for that. So it takes around 1 month to 1.5 months on an average, but that's the kind of ballpark figure that I can give you. Does sponsorship cover cost of dependent visa also? Yes, they can cover, uh, but then, like I said, you need to pay back that amount over a certain period of time. But yes, when you are applying for a visa, they can cover the cost of dependent. So after 5 year, how people plan? Can you work from any European country? Yes. So after 5 years, being in the UK, and when you get your PR, you're not obliged to stay in the country. But I would say, if you are looking to get uh, the British passport or citizenship, that probably you will get after 1 more year, after getting your PR. I would suggest don't stay for a prolonged period outside of the UK. So that's that. But if that is not your concern, and if you are good with your PR, then that's fine. You can stay in other countries, but I think you will need visa for other European countries. You cannot live and work in other European countries with your PR in the UK, because now UK is not part of Brexit. Brexit is a term which, or it was a process where they exited the European Union. So now UK is not a part of European Union, so you will not be able to work in Europe uh, using your British PR or visa. So that is something which you need to consider. What to answer to, do you now or in future require sponsorship in applications where nothing is mentioned about sponsorship in the job description. You need to say yes, because you will be able to work for that company only for like 2 years on your post-study work visa. So eventually you will need a sponsorship. So I think you should say yes. Unless you're planning to just not stay in the UK after 2 years, then you can say that no, I don't require. But in general, I would say it's always good to say that you need a sponsorship after 2 years. So the answer should be yes. But don't they reject based on that? They may, because if a company is not on a approved sponsored list and they're not planning to do so, then yes, they may reject your application based on that. But if you say no, and when they give you a call and then they ask you what is your visa status, and then you have to tell them that you are on a post-study work visa, and then the follow-up question will be, will you need a sponsorship in future? And then the answer is going to be yes. So ultimately you will have to tell them throughout the application process that you will need sponsorship. So why not mention that during your application itself? I had this dilemma as well when I was applying for job, but in the end it didn't really matter that much, because I tried this with no in some applications, but eventually when they give you a call, they ask these questions anyways. So it doesn't really matter that much. You need to tell what it is. Unless you are on a post-study work visa, and maybe if you can move to a dependent visa and your partner is having some kind of sponsorship or some kind of visa, in that case you can say that you don't need a visa or you don't need sponsorship. So there your answer will be no. But apart from that, I think you need to say yes. Can spouse work if they are coming on dependent visa? Yes, definitely they can work full time, and they don't need any other visa for that. Are there any ways to identify fake job listings, jobs which are applied through company portal or Workday can also be fake? Anything can be fake here, because a lot of these companies, they post job openings on their website as well, and a lot of them, they use Workday and simply posting them on LinkedIn. So it's very difficult to say whether a job posting is real or fake. One thing that I've noticed is that some of the companies, they post exact same job description every month. So those jobs can be fake. But again, maybe they require people, they genuinely require people, so it could be real as well. But it's just my gut feeling that it could be fake, because they are posting every month with the same job description without changing anything. And sometimes they post they post these jobs on these portals, and they mention different type of roles, like different type of levels. So those can be fake as well, who knows. So but then they can be real as well, depending on what type of company it is. So if it's a consulting company, or it's a service based company where they have 100 different projects and they need similar kind of people for different projects at different level, then it could be a real job posting. But then if it's a small company where they may not need those many people, but then still they are doing something like that, then it could be fake. But again, it's very difficult to tell whether a job posting is fake or real. That's why in last to last live Q&A, I mentioned that it's important to apply to as many jobs as possible rather than personalizing or customizing your CV for each and every job. I'm just curious here, so I'm asking this here because I think I'll be able to get some answer here. If you feel comfortable sharing, that's fine. If not, then that's also fine. So I was curious, what type of content do you like to watch on my channel? I have like different type of content. There are some tutorials, there are some project videos, and there are some general data science related videos. So there are like basically three different categories on my channel, and different videos do differently. But I was curious, what type of content do you like to watch on my channel, or maybe similar channels if there are any other out there. So just want to know your opinion, because obviously your opinion matters a lot. Are there any HR consultancies here which we can reach out to for job search? There are a lot of job posting agents or recruitment agents. I can't remember the name because it's been a while I applied for any job. But when you go on to LinkedIn and when you look for a certain number of jobs, there are some job descriptions where they say that one of our client, very popular in this particular domain, looking for a candidate for so and so. So when they mention this one of our client, that means it's a recruitment firm or recruitment agency. So I think you can maybe directly reach out to them from there, and hopefully you'll be able to get some consultation there, and they may guide you on improving your CV and stuff if you need that. But I think it's very generic when they give you those kind of advice that you need to put this, need to put that. You may already know all those things anyways. So yeah, it may not be that helpful, but obviously you can register with them, and when you apply for one particular job from their listing, they keep your CV, and when they receive a similar job, they tend to reach out to you. But obviously there will be other applicants as well, and if they feel like other applicants profile is a lot better, then maybe they will reach out to them. But then that's about profile and competition and things. But yeah, if you see job description where they say that one of our clients, then I think you know that it's a It's a recruitment firm. It is great to connect with you. Wanted to ask what kind of products are startups building up there which are in decent position? Um, Obviously, a lot of these companies, they are trying to build Gen AI related applications because they are able to get quite a lot of funding when they show that they are using Gen AI. There can be 100 different use cases. Some of the companies now, they are trying to make these AI based analytical tools, and I think we did talk about this in one of the live Q&As the other week. But yeah, these analytical tool companies are gaining quite a lot of popularity. So what they do is basically these the light went off, that's fine. So yeah, what they do is, we know that these large language models, they are really good at summarizing the textual data or unstructured data, but they're not really good at structured data. So they are trying to apply this large language model on top of structured data, and those kind of companies are getting hell lot of funding and quite a lot of clients as well. And for some use cases they work quite well, but for some use cases they are not at par of, let's say, a proper data scientist or data analyst, because we need to give them quite a lot of context about the data, a lot of different type of synonyms that can be used for a specific feature. So I think it's those type of startups are getting quite a lot of popularity. And then there are some startups, they are doing quite well in healthcare system as well, especially in the UK, because because of various reasons. I think healthcare is quite good in the UK, but obviously they are lacking quite a lot of doctors. So they're trying to incorporate as much technology as they can. And I can't comment for sure what kind of use cases they're working on, because I have been away from healthcare for some time now. So there might have been quite a lot of developments in recent time, but there can be a lot of development in healthcare system as well. So I think those are the two very popular ones. And obviously you can think of some use cases in financial sector as well, like AI agents performing financial analysis on certain set of data, so those kind of things. But I think large language model and Gen AI is probably gaining quite a lot of traction, and whichever startups are using Gen AI, I think they are doing quite well. I think all three types of content are useful. New updates in data science tool, tutorials on how to do projects, and generic advice with Q&A. Thanks, Amita. It really means a lot, because this way I can understand what kind of content is helpful for you guys and will help you to maybe stay up to date in the market, and also learn about different tools and techniques. So yeah, this is really helpful. um, and quite recently, I think I did mention this, I have changed my video editing tool, and I'm trying to learn a little bit of video editing as well, so that I can make videos a little bit more engaging, and it's not a boring video where you just look at me speaking, because you might get bored just looking at my face. So because previously I used to think that information matters a lot, it doesn't really matter how good or how interactive the video looks, but I think it does matter. I don't know, but it takes some time to edit those videos, because still I'm learning the new tool. On top of that, video editing, I'm not really good at video editing at all. but learning few things. So hopefully I'll be able to improve the quality of my content. And also, now that I have moved to uh, a different house, so I have my office here. So I have created a little bit of setup which looks a little bit better than what it was before, because previously I just used to shoot on my phone, put it on a stand and stand wherever I can so that the background is not that busy, and then record videos. But now I'm trying to set up everything, and hopefully it looks better, and I'm still trying to figure out few things, so hopefully it will improve even a little bit more. The recent video was kind of fun to watch. Good to know, I mean, at least it's working, so it's good to know that that effort which I'm putting in is paying off. Because previously when I used to edit videos, it used to take like 2 to 3 hours, because I just used to remove unwanted part and then add some text here and there and then subscribe, all those kind of things. And it used to take like 2 to 3 hours, sometimes even 4 hours, depending on the type of video. And that's just the editing part, because when I'm creating a content, it takes a lot more research beforehand and then planning how to discuss those things in the video. So overall it takes quite a lot of time to create one video. But yeah, editing part used to take like 2 to 3 hours. But now that I'm trying to do a little bit more stuff there, it takes like days to do that. So at some point I was thinking, is it even worth doing it? But now that I'm seeing some positive comments here, and I think it's worth, because one thing is that I really like learning new stuff, and video editing is something which is quite interesting to do. So I'm just learning a few new stuff there, and hopefully it will improve the videos even more. Yes, I saw the data science awards video with different editing effects. Yeah, that was the first video which I edited, with slightly different effects and things I learned on YouTube. Yeah, definitely. When you make some animation and stuff, it just looks pretty cool. Probably few years back, I used to write like Python code and stuff to animate stuff. It used to take a little bit more time, but I was used to Python, so it worked back then. But I think now there are a lot of these video editing tools which can do things with just few clicks, so I think they definitely help. Does sponsorship here include some kind of bond, as in we can't leave the company and the company can't fire us for the duration of the sponsorship? So no, there is nothing like that. If you want to leave, you can leave. You'll have certain amount of time to find the sponsorship for from the next company, but obviously when you leave, you will have offer from the new company, then only you will leave, so that's not a problem. And companies can fire you whenever they want, so there is no bond, or there is no obligation that if they have provided you sponsorship, they can't fire you. So there's nothing like that. I think your mo MOAT will come from intersection AI and your location. Like you can attend more conference and share new knowledge. People may say generic things, but real feedback comes when someone pays. Yes, definitely. I mean, you can get real feedback when you pay, because obviously you're paying for the time and all those kind of things. But um, I don't quite get what MOAT is, so I forgot to ask that. But yes, going to the conference and stuff, I think it can definitely be helpful. I tried going to few conferences. They were not like very um, big conferences. They were very small ones, but it's just there's no time really to do those things unless I'm going for a conference from my company. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but yeah, definitely. Earlier you talked about mentioning willing to relocate in the CV for location based constraint. Where in CV would you suggest to include that? On the top in profile summary? Yeah, definitely. In your summary, when you have those 2-3 lines at the top of your CV, you can probably mention this at the end, that willing to relocate, and also mention that in your LinkedIn profile as well. So when you have that summary in your LinkedIn profile, probably you should mention the first thing there, uh, that willing to relocate, so that it's quite clear and easily available for the recruiters to see that you're willing to relocate. Because some of the people here in the UK, mostly people from the UK, they may not want to relocate that easily to different places, and even companies don't expect, or they don't try to find someone who has to relocate from one place to another location. So they try to find people in their own location, but that's not true all the time. There are a lot of companies, when you mention that yes, I am willing to relocate, they will be completely fine with that. So it's important that you mention these things in your CV and your LinkedIn profile as well. Your competition advantage, like some kind of USB. Oh, got it. Yeah. Try PyCon maybe this year if it happens. Yeah, that actually is a good one, and if I'm able to run it, I think that would be great. Majority of the data science roles demand for experience in data science. In absence of such experience, what other job roles can we apply to which can later transition to data science role? Data analyst, yes, definitely. Data analyst roles are a lot more, I was about to say a lot more easier to get, but relatively easy to get data analytical jobs as compared to data science related jobs. Because there, in my opinion, I think everyone knows how to analyze the data, because on our daily basis we analyze one or the other thing. So everyone is a data analyst. But when it comes to the work setup and the corporate, it's more about the tools that you know to analyze that data. So it would be really good if you know Python, and then some visualization tools like Power BI, and then you can have some statistical tools. You don't really need to, because if you know Python, you can do all those things in Python. But some of the companies are very specific, and they tend to use those statistical tools. So um, they may ask you to either learn, or if you already know those things, that will obviously give you the upper hand. So yeah, those kind of things should be good enough. And also, if you know Excel very well, I think that is also going to help when it comes to data analytics or related jobs. That kind of content can bring more serious people where you can monetize concrete audience. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Ashutosh. I'm still trying to structure my schedule for YouTube because I know that you have been part of programming critical community for very long time now. And whenever we have these conversations here, it's always very useful conversations. So you might know that I'm still struggling to find that balance between my work and my YouTube. So whenever I get some time, like around holidays and stuff, I tend to make content, and then when I get really busy with my work, I tend to forget about YouTube, which is not good, I think, because I really like sharing knowledge here. So I'm still trying to find some time. So I have created a very uh, detailed kind of timeline and timetable for me. So every Saturday I will be doing these live Q&As, and then I'm thinking to maybe post videos every Tuesdays or Thursdays, something like that. It could be related to uh, projects, it could be related to general information about data science. And I have got quite a lot of questions related to data science courses from a lot of different universities as well. So I will be making some university related content as well, because I remember how difficult it can be to find the good university for yourself in the first place. So yes, there are quite a lot of things that I'm planning to do. So if I'm able to first regularly um, post content or post videos on channel, I think that would be a first step. And then I will try to maybe attend uh, these conferences, because I definitely agree that not only for the channel, I think it is going to be good for me as well, because I will see quite a lot of people talking about a lot of different things, and I will get some more ideas from there. And if I'm able to share those ideas to the wider audience that we have here at Programming Credit, I think it would be really helpful for me and for literally everyone who is part of this community. So yes, very valuable advice. Thanks for that, Ashutosh. Okay, if I need to learn one statistical tool, which one should it be? Also, apart from data analytics, which other rules can we apply? The first thing is, I think, Minitab. It is quite popular. You can also maybe learn SAS, I think, if I remember correctly. But I think Minitab is a very good one. I have not used it quite a lot, because if I have to do some statistical testing and stuff, I can do it in Python quite easily. But then some of my friends, they're working in some of the companies where they use this tool quite heavily. They have proper licenses and stuff. Even in our company, we have few licenses here and there. One of our team members, he also used that. And I think it's a very powerful tool, and you can do quite a lot of things quite easily. So Minitab can be a good one to start with, I think. So that would be the statistical tool that you can maybe learn and leverage. Also, apart from data analytics, which other role can we apply? You can maybe go for data engineering, because there it's all about handling large chunk of data, structuring the data, and creating your ETL pipeline and stuff. So if you know stuff like Spark and any database tool, could be Databricks or Snowflake or any other tools. A lot of people, they do these kind of things in Alteryx as well. So if you don't want to use Python, that's fine, you can use Alteryx. So there are quite a lot of other tools available, and if you know those kind of tools, I think you should be good to go for data engineering as well. And if you really like statistics, then you can maybe apply for some statistics related job roles, like statistician and things like that. So you can do those things as well. And what else? Business analyst, I think you should be able to do, but one thing there is that you need to know about these agile methodologies like Scrum and stuff. So if you know those kind of things quite well, I think business analytics roles are going to be very helpful. So you should be able to get those things as well. Yeah, so those are some of the job roles that I can think of that you can apply to. For an entry-level data scientist, how much time should it take to build a portfolio along with applying for jobs? If you already have projects, then it takes like 30 minutes to build a profile, like a very simple basic profile. I do have a video on my channel discussing about how to create a portfolio. So it takes around 30 minutes, because you can use some of the templates, and it's a lot more easier to do it. So I have a video on my channel how to create a portfolio. I can maybe try to find that video and post it in the chat, so you can just go and watch that video, and you'll be able to create a good looking portfolio in just 30 minutes. So I'm just trying to find that video. It's been a while I made that one. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, there you go. Any recommendations on tools to create a quick website or portfolio, like can't see what it is, Netlify? I have not used this Netlify tool, so I don't know how it works, but the one which I showed you, which I showed in this video, is going to use basic HTML, and you don't really need to fiddle around a lot of HTML. You just need to change titles and stuff after you have chosen your template. So it's a lot more easier to do, and you can host it quite freely on your GitHub as GitHub pages. So Yeah, it is quite easy. So I would suggest this one, but I'm not really sure about the tool that you mentioned because I have not used it. What about time, including doing projects also? Can academic projects be put? Yes, definitely academic projects can be put. And when I created my profile, I did add a lot of academic projects, because when you're doing your masters, the projects that you work on are quite good, and some of those projects are the actual research projects, so you work on a subset of that project. So you can definitely add those projects in your portfolio. Where to learn Databricks? You should be able to find quite a lot of playlists on YouTube, and you should be able to learn. But if you are willing to spend a little bit more than that, I think you will be able to find something on Udemy. And there are quite a lot of Databricks related courses available on Udemy. Was it Databricks which I was learning? I think it was Databricks, because it's been like 4 years when I learned Databricks. Yeah, I think it was one of the Udemy course, and it was really good. I can't remember the name of the course, but I can very quickly try to find it. And if I can maybe post the link in the chat, I'll do that as well. And I'm pretty sure there will be some uh, courses on Databricks website as well, because these days a lot of these companies, they tend to release these free courses so that a lot more people can be onboarded and they can learn about the tool. And if they learn about this tool, then they can create a market for that. So you should be able to find something on their page as well. I can't seem to find that course, but what I will do is I will try to find that course, and I will probably post it in the community section, so that later you can check out and make use of it. The next one is for statistics. Do you know any good resources in terms of books, right? I do remember one of the books. If you want to learn like from basics, I think I have this book. I'm trying to find that. I'm trying to pick that book. Oops, I dropped. So yeah, this is like a very basic one. So if you want to start from scratch, I think you can maybe make use of this one. It's like for babies. So it makes use of these cartoons and stuff. And for basic foundation, I think this is really good. And you should definitely check out this book if you are able to find it. Again, I will maybe take a photo of this one, and if I'm able to find the link on Amazon or somewhere, I will post it in the community section after this one, after this live Q&A. So hopefully it should help you. But if you want something which is a lot more, let's say, technical, there is one from O'Reilly, I think. It's a really good book on Amazon. So again, I will maybe put both of them in the community section, so you can check it out later. I'm joining the UK this January for MSc in data science with a digital marketing background. Any tips on preparing for the transition? Right. This tip I give to literally everyone is that if you learn programming, if you haven't already, that is going to be really really helpful, because then you won't have to fiddle around figuring out how to do this thing or that thing. All you have to focus on the concepts, and you will be able to learn those concepts quite easily without having to worry about writing the code and stuff. So it helps a lot, and your focus can be on right things. So if you are able to learn uh, Python programming, I think that is going to be really really helpful. And the next thing is just the basics of maths and stats. You don't need to learn like in-depth mathematics and solve those complex calculus problems. If you just understand the meaning of integration, differentiation, and if you're aware of different statistical terms like hypothesis testing, mean, median, mode, those kind of things, I think you'll be good to go. Because if you know those things, and if you have heard those things before, and when you hear those things in your course, it will not feel like alien terms to you, and you will feel like, oh yeah, this is familiar to me, and I should be able to pick this thing up, and you won't be alarmed. So I think those are the two main advice that I can give. Apart from that, I think a lot of these courses are designed in a way that it is going to accommodate all kind of people from different backgrounds, so you should be fine. And maybe one other thing is that start your assignment as soon as you get them. Don't wait for the last moment, because maybe doing the assignment itself won't take that much time, but writing a report can take quite a lot of time. So do keep that in mind. Plural site is best for data engineering, right? Okay. Good to know. I can maybe try to search for plural site and see if you know what I should do for next live stream, to maybe add one more source in my scene where I can share my screen quite easily, so that we all can maybe look at stuff together. Whenever I search for something, you guys can see that as well. I'll try to figure out how to do that, and hopefully we will be able to look at few other things from next time. Doing data science projects need a lot of time and concentration. So how long should it take to create a portfolio doing projects from scratch? Again, it depends quite a lot on different type of projects. And also depends how much expertise you have. So if you already have the projects from your masters, I think you're fine, and in parallel you can work on some of the projects that you really like. So maybe you can try to follow along some of the projects, so by the time you finish a video on YouTube, you will have that project with you. And then maybe if you along the way you want to make few changes, you can make few changes on your own. So probably last year I made this video about image segmentation. So it was a quite tricky project at the time, but if you follow the video, you should be able to do that. And then there are a lot of other projects available on YouTube as well if you search for data science projects. And hopefully next week I will be able to post another video which I'm currently working on, and it is also about a data science project. So I think you will be able to follow along that as well, and it would be an interesting fun little project using Gen AI. So, and also I posted videos probably last month. It was about summarizing audio transcription using ChatGPT. So that is also a good project that you can work on, and those projects don't take a lot of time. So hopefully you'll be able to finish those projects in like 3 to 4 hours, I think, if you want to work on new uh, projects. So that's that. But if you want to work on something from scratch on your own, then it can take like 3-4 days, if not more, because first you need to figure out the problem statement. If you already know the problem statement, then you need to figure out where to find the data. Kaggle is where you will be able to find almost all kind of data, but I think finding the right data, it can be a little bit tricky. So that's the second thing. After that, I think things will become a lot more faster, because if you don't know what you want to do, then you can look at the code section in code or community section or discussion section in Kaggle, and you will be able to find a lot of notebooks from other people, and you can take a look at those notebooks, and you'll be able to get some ideas there, and you should be able to expedite your development process. So those are the things. But if you get stuck somewhere, then you may have to figure out those things. So it can take like 3 to 4 days, or maybe even a week or so. So to do one project, it can take that much time. So it depends. If you have good projects already with you, then you can create your portfolio within like 30 minutes or something like that. But if you don't have them, if you want to create, then it can take like 15 days or so. I hope that helps. Any reviews on University of Essex? Last time I checked their course content, I think it was good, and I think I don't see any reason why it won't be good now. And I knew someone who completed his masters from University of Essex, and now he's, I think, working as a ML engineer. So I would say it's a good university. Course content is good. Overall, the reputation of the university is also good. Location is good. So yeah, I think overall it's a thumbs up for University of Essex. I didn't even realize we are well over 1 hour, so I think it was a pretty interesting discussion today. So yeah, I think this is it for today's live Q&A. And again, it was very nice talking to you all, and I will talk to you guys next Saturday, 12 p.m. UK time. Have a great weekend, everyone, and happy learning. Bye.